Hey, Burn A-Town, Trainer Shu here, making a short video today just to talk about stretching, why stretching is important, why we do it at camp, and why you should stretch at home outside of camp. Before diving into that, I do want to sidebar real quick and just talk about the two main types of stretching that we see at camp. So dynamic stretching and static stretching. So what dynamic stretching is, that's typically what you will see in some form during the warm-up before camp. So that's basically taking your muscles through a controlled range of motion, whether that be, arm circles, a hamstring scoop, maybe the hip openers, things like that, just to mimic what we are going to be doing in camp to get blood flow pumping to those muscles, to prime those muscles. The other type of stretching, what we see post-camp and what is going to be the main focus of this video, is static stretching. And the reason we do that post-camp is because throughout camp, we're stressing our muscles. That's all the exercise is just stressing our body to an extent, which is not a bad thing. That's exactly what exercise is supposed to do. So what happens as that lactic acid builds up, our bodies are tense, they're tight, those muscles are fatigued, we can get stiff. So static stretching, which is just a stretch and a hold for 15, 20 seconds at a time, it just helps get that muscle lengthened kind of more so to that relaxed state so that we're not as stiff post camp. So just going to grab out a band really quick to kind of show you how our muscles work through those movements. So think of your muscles as like a bungee cord or like a resistance band. So going through movements, that's all our muscles are doing, is just lengthening and shortening. So take a hip hinge, for example. When you hinge through those hips, your bungee cords, your muscles back there are going to lengthen out. As they lengthen out, you're basically storing energy in those muscles to get ready to pull you back up out of that movement. So when you think of your muscles as that bungee cord, if those cords are always tight, you're always tense, you're not going to be able to go through those movements efficiently, which is going to increase your risk of injury. All right, so coming down to the floor, one of those stretches we can do from home, and it's one that we see quite a bit at camp on those lower body days, that low runner's lunge. So getting into that half kneeling position and using that downed knee, we're just gonna drive our body slightly forward. Like I say, holding for about 10, 15, 20 seconds if you need before switching sides. One thing I do like to add to this, to add a little bit of a stretch through the core as well, is just to kind of reach up and side bend here. So now you're going to stretch a little bit through that core, through those obliques, and same thing, just kind of hold here 10 to 15 seconds before switching sides. So now moving on to the back side of the hips here, like those glutes and hamstrings. A stretch that I like to do for that is kind of like a modified pigeon pose. So we get down, that bottom leg is bent, kind of out under our chest here, that back leg is long behind us. And then we're just going to slowly sink that body towards the knee. You'll start feeling that stretch through those hip extensors. And then something I like to add to this one, so the arm opposite of that downed leg side, we're just going to slightly reach out and across our body, really reaching with those fingers. And what that's going to do is now you're getting a stretch through that glute, but you're going to get a cross stretch up through the opposite side of that lower back, mid back area as well. Same thing, hold for about 15 seconds or so, and then we will switch sides. And then the last stretch you can do, if those floor positions aren't for you, you can use like a chair, end of a table, a couch, anything like that. Just something to get your palms rested against here. And we're gonna step back. Think of getting into that RDL pose, so about hip width apart, slight bend of the knees. Then we're gonna hinge through the hips. And your distance from that chair, couch, whatever you're using, you may have to modify that depending on how tall, how long your arms are. But then get set up and then drive through those palms. We're just gonna push back. And again, you're gonna get that stretch through the glutes, through the hamstrings, and you'll feel a little bit of a stretch through those lats as well. Same thing, hold 15, 20 seconds, however long you need to kind of get that muscle relaxed out. Now it's important to note, when we're stretching, you don't want to force your body through that range of motion because you can hurt yourself by overstretching. The goal of that is to feel a light stretch, hold, and then try to stretch a little bit further with each set. Don't go straight into it and just crank into it and hurt yourself. So like I say, take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes if that's what you can do. Keep up with a stretching and mobility routine at home. That way we can continue to safely do those exercises in camp. And I'm going to end this video the same way we end camp, with 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.